Some they call it functional alcoholism, but if you know anything about Ben, he's got vision with precision, microphones and a tinkle of derision. You're about to hear what beer can be. It's time for Barley and Me.
Welcome to Barley and Me. I'm your host, Ben Rice. We're here today in Sacramento, California for episode 181 about 2024 Beer Week. That's Sacramento Beer Week even. With me today, special guests.
Hey guys, Chris Keeton. I'm the head brewer for Alaro Craft Brewery and president of the Sacramento Area Brewers Guild.
And also,
David Weiss. I'm the brewer for Blue Note Brewing Company in Woodland and currently the vice president of the Sacramento Area Brewers Guild.
yeah, and we are at Alaro right now to have this conversation, middle of the brunch.
Yeah,
Crushing it.
Nice Saturday. We got the farmers market going on. People walking around. Nice place to be.
Yeah. All right, so Beer Week 2024. What's going on with it?
Coming up, Beer Week this year is April 26th through May 5th. So Beer Week, but it's almost 2 weeks long. You gotta get both weekends in there and then the full week. Obviously, capping off with Cinco de Mayo is a lot of fun. Our closing event is going to be the Sacramento Brewers Showcase, which is held at the Heart Health Park, where the Sacramento Republic play. Which is going to be a fun event right on the field. And so, we get to go to matches and sit in the stands and watch the game. Now it'll be fun to be on the pitch and just be, hang out, drink beer. It is on May 4th, so, may the 4th be with you. We are kind of tying in that Star Wars theme. And so I feel like one of the main Beer Week things that we're doing is the Rising Together collaboration, which is where we try to get all of the Sacramento Area Brewers Guild participating breweries to participate in this collaboration where, so we've done it in years past where we kind of create a recipe and we let the breweries do what they want. This year with the Star Wars theme, we did a light side versus dark side.
Okay.
So each brewery gets to pick light or dark, good or evil, however you want to put it.
Red or green.
Yeah, Rebels versus Empire. However you see that play out, right? Have some fun with it. Make whatever you want to make.
Okay, and just put that
and just
Rising Together
showcase.
on it.
And so then, that'll be the release there at the event. I'm sure breweries will do their own release parties through their breweries as well.
What is Alaro going to make?
So we picked Dark Side, but then I'm going to do a lighter beer. So doing a cold IPA.
Okay.
But I really didn't want to do the Hoth thing,
Yeah.
So I was thinking long on, for whatever reason, on Empire Strikes Back, and thought of the Vader when he says, "No, I am your father." So I was thinking, "No, I am an IPA, cold IPA."
Nice. Blue Note's going to be brewing a honey nut amber.
Sounds great.
Uses some local ingredients. Woodland's kind of an ag town, so we're going to be using local honey, local almonds, and pecans.
Nice,
Beer.
dude. That's
So
fun.
we're also doing dark side, but not that dark, kind of right in the middle.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Maybe
So-
like episode 2 Anakin,
When he's bitching about sand.
Yeah.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so that's a terrible choice to use the first or second trilogy, first 3 episodes. But that's fine. What are you calling it, though, I guess?
Well, we're going to call it Rising Together.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Whatever.
That's fair.
Fine. Rising I like because that's Rise of Skywalker, Rise of the Empire, so it's either one, right?
I like that. That's a good
go.
tie. That's good.
All right.
Well, yeah, and the Rising Together, we started this collaboration in 2020 with the thought of kind of trying to get all the breweries together, trying to create something, right? So obviously we know what was going on. We're trying to create some camaraderie, create some buzz, and so we did this Rising Together. Basically, all the proceeds that we as the guild get from that participation from other breweries, that's a fundraiser for us, right? So that goes to us being able to support the industry throughout the year, which obviously helps people in the industry, helps people that are working, helps people that were troubled. Then obviously we had a lot of fun with it, so now it's become an annual thing that we like to do.
Yeah, I think this is a more exciting one for the consumer because the last few years has just been like, hey, here's a bunch of IPAs
Right.
that are all kind of similar. This is like lets the breweries show their creative side, which is more, I think, in the spirit of
Exactly
the Beer Week
that.
event anyway.
Right. Yeah, it was a 7% IPA with Simcoe, and so which we do get a lot of donations from some of our affiliate members, places like Admiral Maltings, BSG, Berkeley Yeast, White Labs, a couple of hop providers as well. So us as brewers, we're able to take advantage of these opportunities and get us some discounts, which, from the guild's point of view, that's our purpose, right? Anything that we can do to help our breweries succeed, find new materials, find new inspirations, whatever. It obviously makes the beers a little cheaper to make. So when we want to push the envelope a little bit. But then that's definitely the point of Beer Week as well. Try to put ourselves out there a little bit, try something that we're not normally doing, create some of that buzz, get people to come out and try as many of those styles. I know one guy for sure, Marty Erickson. I remember the first year, like let's say there was 25 Rising Togethers, he tried all 25.
Yeah.
When Sierra Nevada did their
Resilience.
Thank you. He was all over the country looking for those beers, and so those are those things, when we talk about those types of individuals, like how do we recreate that excitement in others, And we all got into brewing because of that excitement for beer and flavors. Weiss and I used to homebrew together.
I think Rising Together is kind of about bringing breweries closer together with each other and closer together with consumers. Something happened in 2020 that kind of caused us to drift apart a little bit, circle the wagons a little bit. So there's a little bit less collaboration, camaraderie, and this beer is about trying to bring that back into the beer scene. And that's kind of what Beer Week is all about, is an opportunity for the local beers and breweries to shine, let everyone know we're still here and making some cool beers and putting on cool events for the people to come get to know their brewers and for brewers to get to know each other, exchange ideas. It just helps us all kind of improve as a scene.
I like
together.
that your hand automatically did like a Rising Together movement. It's like a rising tide lifts all boats kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Heart Health Park, May 4th, it'll be a fun opportunity for everyone to try all of those Rising Together beers in one place.
Right.
You won't have to travel around so much.
But
and
you
should
still
be able
could.
You still could if you want.
And you should.
Could do it. Maybe find
Trying a beer from the source is the whole point of what we do. Like obviously it's fun to find your favorite beer in a grocery store, tap room, or bottle shop. Take it home, drink it in on your couch in your skivvies. We all love that feeling. But looking around here right now, plates clanking, drinks getting made, beers being enjoyed, and it's not even noon. To me it's Saturday afternoon, right? Day before Easter. So like that, to me, that's the point of the beer, right? And so it's fun, and from the Beer Week point of view, just kind of showcasing that for the week, 15 days, whatever it is. But just being able to remind everybody how valuable this industry really is. The opportunities that we create at a table over a pint. We're obviously doing it with mics, but people do this every day. Every day, 4 times a day if you're lucky.
Yeah. So as far as like events going on this year, what have you heard as far as like what other breweries are doing as far as events? Like what kind of beers are they making, things like that?
So best way to find that information is go to the Brewers Guild website. There is a Sacramento Beer Week. We got that website right here, sacramentobeerweek.com. So that has a schedule. You can search by brewery, you can search by day, you can search by event. There's obviously there'll be bottle or can releases for everybody else. I'm probably the only brewer that still bottles. But I own my own bottling line and I bottle every week. Freshness matters. And I don't have a cold box to store a pallet of cans, otherwise I would. But regardless of that. That's why I bottle, people, okay?
Leave me alone.
And those crowns look so cool. We got the mosaics on top. We're elegance over gimmicks. Not that cans are gimmicks, but
You could also follow Sacramento Beer Week on Facebook or Instagram for information. It's pretty easy, just at Sacramento Beer Week.
even easier.
So events will be kind of trickling in, getting posted by individual breweries as they add them. And then the big event's going to be the Brewers Showcase at the end of the week that we hope to see many, many breweries and people at.
Right. That's it. Exactly.
Do you have any plans for what Blue Note's doing, David?
Blue Note is going to be brewing Rising Together. We'll release it right at the beginning of Beer Week on, the 25th?
26th.
26th, yeah.
Friday.
And so look out for a honey nut amber, kind of 5-6%, lots of honey, lots of nut character. This will be my first time putting whole nuts into a beer. So
Whole nuts.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm going to break them down a little bit.
Okay.
Are you gonna?
I've never started with like an actual nut
Yeah.
to add
Yeah.
that flavor to a beer.
Are you putting them in the mash, or are you putting them in the?
My plan is to, if you want to get into it,
The brewer in me wants to know.
yeah. So I'm going to Blue Note has a pizza kitchen now, with brick oven and
Okay,
everything.
so you're
So we're gonna break the nuts down, roast them in the oven.
Nice.
Some will be added on the hot side via a hop back, which is a vessel that you can infuse things in right before the heat exchanger during knockout. And I'm going to use some of them as kind of like a dry hop and do just a cold extraction on them and see how that all goes.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really get that
Good luck on that cleanup, big guy.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm brewing this next Friday, so
nice.
I'll let you all know how it goes.
I'll talk to you Saturday.
Yeah.
Be like, can you
While
knock
he's still picking out the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brutal.
breaking my heat exchanger apart to remove husks of almond or something. We'll see.
You got one of those filter gaskets.
Yeah, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, you should.
He's got plans. He knows what he's doing. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not. These are industry trade secrets. I will not tell you any more about my plan.
Yeah.
Made it through tougher scrapes than this. You know?
Remember all those grapefruits we used to have to do?
Oh yeah.
In the Rubicon days, we had like 30. It was a 30-barrel grapefruit hop sauce,
Yeah.
and we had like 20 milk crates of grapefruit. It just hand zested, hand peeled.
You wanted nobody to have the word pithy come out.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That word was said probably 1,000 times that
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
We don't want
Well,
it.
you see, if you get the white stuff. Yeah.
God, people are dicks. Sorry, you guys go through a lot to do what
We
what
do.
you have to do.
Hey, man. Those were the good old days of doing it. You know?
Oh no, they're bad new days. Sorry.
Well, now it's not getting peeled by hand. Now it's just coming
yeah.
from amaretti in a vial.
Yeah, they do all the
That's
work for
fine.
you, but it's
That's
different.
fine.
It's different.
It's fine.
But it's not as. You don't get as much ownership of it, right? It's not quite as rewarding, but it's also less backbreaking.
The work
There's a trade-off,
gives
yeah.
it meaning.
The word gives it meaning.
It sets you
Yeah.
free. Sort of thing.
Who doesn't want to spend 3 days?
Sounds like
just
something the
peeling
oppressor
oranges?
says. Just kidding.
Yeah. But as far as any other like beer event type things going on at Blue Note, do you guys do anything else during Beer Week?
I'm not really sure. I'll probably meet with our front of house folk next week and see what we're doing. We're out in Woodland, so it's a little removed from Sacramento.
You have complete domination of the industry out there.
Yeah, basically.
You can
Are
do
you
whatever
guys-
you want. You'll get what we give you, and that's.
Are you guys doing the Elk Grove Brew Fest as well?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we are either. Annette signs up for those and tells me where to be.
Yep.
That's how I like it.
One less thing for you to think
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
There
I
you
just
go.
make sure
Decision.
I just make sure the tanks still stay full and Bennett makes it to school and back, and I'm good to go.
And the beer's where it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be.
That's
there.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so what about Alaro? What are they doing?
So then Alaro, we kind of, I want to say we go all out, but we like our nice things, you know. So we've got a couple events planned. The main one we do is Wednesday nights. The first Wednesday of every month we do a paella night.
Okay.
And so we've got this big paella pan actually hanging up right there. It's the only place we can safely put it is to hang it up as a decoration. So we take it down on paella night. And so then, in the terms of Beer Week, so now we do this once a month. So now let's make it Beer Week style. We do a little beer pairing with it. We make it a little bit bigger. We try to bring in something special. You know, I'm not sure exactly what Santana's got planned right now. Last year we did chorizo and lobster. I think there was, and then a bunch of shellfish and stuff on top of it as well. But see what he pulls out this year. We are doing so much. I got a little list here, right? And then we're also really known for our grilled cheese sandwich, which has this beautiful spicy tomato. We call it a bravas sauce. So we do a grilled cheese pairing, four different grilled cheese with 4 different beers. This year, last October, I brought in a bunch of New Mexico green chili. Me being New Mexican, and I'm always talking about chili. So brought in some fresh from the source, Wagner Farms in Corrales, New Mexico, and we've got some that's still sitting skin on, seeds in. So we'll defrost and use that for Beer Week. Nice little treat at home.
Sorry, what day is that?
Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure that'll be one of the Tuesdays.
Okay.
Again, if you check out the website, sacramentobeerweek.com.
I have a friend who's a cheese, like a grilled cheese, aficionado. I'm like, all right.
That's one of our favorite. We've done that one every year.
Oh yeah, I've said
well.
them here. I'm like,
yeah.
you need to get this grilled
We
cheese.
do one with like a pimento goat cheese, or is that goat cheese, cream cheese?
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you. All right, and then we're also doing an oxy and lamb barbacoa, beer and mezcal dinner, and then we do an oatmeal stout on nitro, and then we have a soft serve machine, which we do some really awesome stout floats, and so then we'll do like a pairing stout flight that day.
Nice.
And then of course we've got 2 Sundays, and we love our Sunday brunch, so we have 2 different brunch set up. The second one being Cinco de Mayo. We're doing a micheladas and mezcal pairing. Not pairing, but come and get a pint of beer, a michelada, and a glass of some of our fine mezcals. And then one of our owners, so Ray and Annette Ballestero, they're a husband-wife team that own the restaurant and brewery. Ray is an avid tequila mezcal fan. That man, he has curated that list. Some of the stuff I kind of laugh at him when he's buying it, because I'm like, dude, I need equipment, but then he buys this tequila that I find out that it's like 1 out of like 60 bottles, and we've got it back here, and then that bottle of tequila buys me my equipment. So I'm like, all right. And he really loves some of that stuff. So just curates an amazing list. And then, of course, Rising Together and the Brewers Showcase event. And then I'm sure we'll find our way into a couple other things around town as we go.
And every time I come here, I just remember the good old days of Sac Beer Week when there was a Firkin Fest.
Firkin Fest, nice. Yeah.
That was my favorite thing. I made sure I went every year.
COVID killed my Firkin program, unfortunately. Just purely like when we... I used to make a Firkin every week. So in the Rubicon days, we did the Firkin Thursdays. I did keep that alive with Alaro. When we stopped having people inside, obviously I stopped making them. There were a lot of times. I mean, we make them 10 gallons at a time. There would be times, and real ales, cask ales, they're an acquired taste. I think you gotta know what you're drinking to get them, and so.
Well, that's what I loved about the Firkin Fest. Is like you get all these different styles on it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is what it does to this. This is what it does to this. And you kind of get your idea. Of like
Beer Week 19, we did the Firkin Fest, and then I guess we wouldn't have been open in 18. So maybe it was just that one time. And then
definitely did.
Yeah.
And then 2020 for some reason.
Yeah, just for some reason I couldn't. March was just a little weird.
It was weird. It was a weird time to like. Because it's so close to San Francisco Beer Week. Right.
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Right. But I always love hearing people ask for those Firkins again. So especially of all breweries, us, we claim that flavored beer aspect. We like, elegance over gimmicks. I love old school, refined styles. I need to find a way to bring that program back.
There's at least one person.
As long as one person comes in, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they got to drink 10 gallons of beer, but sure.
Right. Well, I got to drink like 100 gallons because there's going to be a festival of Firkins.
Well, shit. The festival.
The
And that was a lot of fun, though, man. Just calling all these other breweries. I mean, it's basically calling all my friends, seeing what they had fermenting, tell them to put them in a Firkin. Oh, I don't have a Firkin. I'd send one out to them. I still have a lot of those shells, obviously. They're all sitting up in the attic from the Rubicon days.
I have one Firkin.
You got one?
It gets used once a year on Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
so
it's a good
you can
time
bring
to use
back
it.
Firkin Fest. I will use it twice a year.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So
I know.
look, we've got a month. Got a month to get it all good. I guarantee Peter'd do it.
You're not wrong. Now you're putting me on the spot. So
No,
we'll
but
see
you
what
don't have to
happens.
host it. You don't have to host it.
Ah,
You
there
just
you
got to
go.
help organize it somewhere. That's all. Because you already got your full calendar going.
I'm sure we can find one more day. throw five up there
Look,
just to get it going again.
I'm maxing out my vacation time here pretty quick, so I got to take a day off.
You got to take a day off
I
somewhere,
can just
right?
go drink a bunch of Firkin beers.
Yeah.
Does podcasting have a lot of PTO?
Yeah, they have a lot of PTO on this. Yeah, it's mostly UPTO, unfortunately. UTO? Is that what it's called? UTI.
Just TO.
Yeah.
Might want to see a doctor about that.
Yeah. A lot of time off. You listeners have noticed in the fact that there are less of them now.
Quality over quantity, bud.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Keep it short and simple. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah. You also have a toddler, dude.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. You have more important. Not to say that Barley and Me is not important,
Thank you.
but
Not as
No, but-
important.
but,
yeah, it's
yeah.
way down the list for some
Yeah.
reason now. It used to be
those
higher
those
priority.
littles, you know. Yeah. There you go. I'll blame Bennett for not having Firkin Fest.
Okay,
now.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his fault.
Yeah. And I'm like, this will get out on Monday or when I have time. Like that's my goal is Monday, but that was my goal the last time, and I almost
You got a
almost
month
made it.
before you got a month before Beer Week starts, so 2 weeks before, get the people excited.
Yeah.
You'll be just fine.
Yeah, maybe I'll edit that Sudberg video episode I did in August at some point.
Yeah.
I bet that's fun.
I was like sitting here like I should probably put that out. Maybe not the video, just maybe edit the audio at least.
You've been teasing dozens of listeners about that for
I know, forever. Yeah. I mean, my videographer he had a family emergency, so I had to film it myself, and I'm like, I don't have this skill set. It looks good enough for me, so I scared to look at it. So I should really just do the audio and get it out there, and then the video can come out, and a professional can look at it and be like, no.
Sometimes it's worth hiring the professional. Sometimes you can just do it.
Well,
you know.
when family emergencies come up and you're already going to be there, you can't really avoid that.
Nope.
So I didn't need to be a big production. I'm like, I need one person to make sure these cameras are running and look good.
Right.
That's easy enough until
it's not.
10 a.m. for a 1 p.m. shoot. Like, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
They're like, I know 5 other people. Like, nope. Well, I'll just do it.
Oh, same day. Called same day.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, that does hurt.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us,
Yeah.
you know?
And the worst. This guy. All right. Anything else you need to know about Sacramento Beer Week for 2024 that you think?
I mean, I'd say I think we're just excited for it, you know, and the thought of the participation from breweries, from the public. You know, it's something it's been pretty big. It's moved around in years past. Everybody wants to participate in it. Not everybody does anything in it, you know. But I think it's more of just kind of like our approach to it, like. Show up, be excited for it. Remember why we work as hard and get as paid as little as we do. And what were the terms you used? Not labor of love, but
the work will set you
work
free.
will set you free. The work will set you free.
That's
If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just give the quick hits.
Go
Beer
for
Week, Sacramento Beer Week, 4/26 to 5/5. Go to sacramentobeerweek.com. Buy tickets to the Sacramento Brewers Showcase at Hart Health Park. Try Everyone's Rising Together beer.
Those tickets are available on sacbeerweek.com? Or is it Sacramento Beer Week? Sorry.
sacramentobeerweek.com.
Spell it all out. sacramentobeerweek.com.
That's it.
It's 3 times now. Now they know. They've heard it 3 times in a quick succession. Now it's just in there forever.
Permanent.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And if you got more questions, you want to see some beautiful pictures of what's going on, because we're a very visual society now, at Sacramento Beer Week on Instagram and Facebook.
That's it.
Yeah. And
Give it a follow, and you catch things all year long as well.
yeah. And I did want to talk. So right now, Beer Week is essentially a brewery-only type of thing going on, correct?
It's Beer Week is hosted by the Sacramento Area Brewers Guild, which is a brewery only guild. That being said, we do have affiliate members, like we were talking about, places like Admiral Maltings and BSG, places that we deal with every day. We get them involved. Again, from the brewer's point of view, we need to know what our materials are doing, what our ingredients are doing, how our chemicals, our CO2 usage, things like that. Which organizations like the CCBA, the California Craft Brewers Association, and then the Brewers Association of the Americas, the Master Brewers Association of the Americas, those organizations do a great job helping us understand federally. CCBA helps us statewide, and so the Guild, we try to keep that same focus, but much more locally, obviously. Now, that being said, South Lake Brewing is part of our Guild. Woodland, and Blue Note is a part of our Guild. So it's a pretty wide breadth.
Yeah.
Lodi Beer Co. is a part of our Guild. Mainly because we just love Bill Wood and we want hugs from Bill. God, the greatest person in the world. But mainly, Sacramento area is a large area, so it's nice to be able to, we host meetings, once a quarter, if not more. It's all about camaraderie, networking, education, and so now Beer Week we put on to showcase what we work on all year long. Now, to say that it's breweries only putting on those events, that's not necessarily fair. There are, places like 36 Handles and 19 Handles and
Hop Gardens, Lefties,
Pangea,
Captain.
There you go. Sac City, Sac Yard. All of these like awesome beer places. They also get involved. They do music events, comedy nights. Beer tastings, tap takeovers. Yeah. It's also even kind of grown where, like Pangea does such a great job of bringing in beers from around the world, around the country. Other breweries want to get involved as well. So we see a lot of East Coast beers kind of get dropped. We send our beers out to San Francisco for San Francisco Beer Week. Obviously, they're going to send their beers out this way as well. Sure, it is Sacramento Beer Week. We're talking about beer made in Sacramento, but it's more of the beer culture in Sacramento. We are here to celebrate what having a table full of pints means.
Yeah, and I think for a short time it seemed like it kind of lost that idea of bringing in these outside beers and being a place where consumers can go to one spot and get beers from a lot of different places. And so I'm glad to hear that that's coming back a little stronger. I know a few bars are still following through, but I know there's like a bit of a falling out. A few years ago, there's whatever, doesn't matter. Right. That's not, you weren't the president, the Guild has changed, it's always a thing. But I think consumers kind of got confused about what Beer Week even represented anymore. Right. There's some conversations I have with people all the time. But it's nice to know that there are places that are still down to promote Beer Week and making sure that people can go to one spot and get a bunch of beers from a lot of places that they can't get year-round. Right. I think that's the thing about Sacramento Beer Week.
Yeah, I think the goal is to kind of over time refocus Beer Week this is for consumers of beer in the Sacramento area, and it's a celebration of all aspects of the beer community here in Sacramento. So if what makes you special is that you're a brewery and you can make really cool beers right in your customer's backyard, we want to celebrate that. If what makes you special is that you're a tap room that can bring in really cool beers from breweries all over the country or the world, we want to celebrate that too. It's all about providing consumers with 1 week a year where everyone kind of kicks it into high gear on what they do. And it's to me about like a thank you to all the consumers that let us do this the other 51 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, and it's like, I think it might be not just a Sacramento problem, it's just the general beer problem, because like now beer is much more accessible than it was 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Right. So beer weeks don't feel as special because
every week is beer week.
Every week is beer week, right? So, back when beer week started, there were a lot of bars that didn't carry local Sacramento beers. Now they know it's stupid. Like every bar in Sacramento has at least one local beer on. They know it's like business suicide to not have that.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that worked so well.
Pause for the cause?
Oh, yes, pause for the cause. Good point. I had an eye on something. Oh, can I do the Armada? Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'll do 20 of Goons.
Another one of these of Labo Hem.
See, this is what we're here for. We're drinking.
We're working, guys.
Yes, also, David, you said one of these ones. Can you please, for the record, state what you're drinking?
I'm drinking a tall, skinny glass of Labo Hem Czech-style Pilsner.
Nice. And now, how would you describe that beer?
It reminds me a lot of a Czech Pilsner I used to have, which I can't get anymore.
Okay. So. All right, so it's crisp.
I would say crisp, well balanced.
Nice.
It's nice and malty. Saw's character.
Yep.
I'm assuming Saws are
It's
hops.
as traditional as you could get, man. It's Saw's hops, Bohemian malt from Fireman, as well as Admiral Pilsner. Obviously, you gotta get. I'm a huge fanboy of Admiral. It's expensive as get out, but
I forget for getting it so close.
Are
to
you
home.
frost brewing this beer?
frost brew.
Is it frost brewed?
It's I get it. It is cold fermented. Yes.
Oh wow,
Thank you. Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're changing the terminology. You get a new style going. Okay. Welcome to beer.
It is,
Okay.
it is lagered. Yes.
I don't know if this will make the episode, but I was in Colorado last week, going to breweries, meeting beer people, and one guy was telling me, "Oh, you got to go try this other brewery in town. They have this fermented IPA." And I was like, "What?"
Here's hoping.
Like
Wait, what have I
every
been
IPA
drinking?
I've ever had was fermented. Like, what do you?
Even the NAs are fermented.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
So,
that guy makes
shout
you
out to
look-
the genius who thought to ferment an IPA somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah, so in Colorado, there's like a city where they just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like,
So you got to try this new brewery. They're doing something
they're
crazy.
Doing something crazy. They're fermenting all of them.
All of them are fermented? That's
something.
that can't
It must
be
just
right.
be the altitude.
Yeah.
Something with the altitude.
Yeah.
There's something different to it. All right. So the point
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
beer weeks are like it's different just because beer is so much bigger than it was before.
Well, it's just so prevalent. It's so
Yeah.
accessible.
It's hard to stand out in a
Right.
crowd where there's always an event.
Right.
It didn't used to be that way.
No.
I think the part of it is just the overall maturation of the Sacramento beer scene over
Yeah.
the last, 10 or 11,
Yeah. It was-
12 years now.
It was different when there was like 15 breweries.
Yeah.
When there's 85 or whatever.
And even when there were, 50, but all of them were less than a year or two old,
Yeah.
I think there was a lot more kind of excitement.
Yeah, 'cause you're getting your
and
name out
it was
there.
novel. I think everyone's kind of used to us having breweries. All the breweries' personalities have gone from like plucky startup to like
Hardened.
grizzled veteran, and I think that the Guild is trying to kind of keep some of that joy alive, that
Yeah.
camaraderie, and like I said earlier, bring really cool events to customers in Sacramento and kind of be a place for all breweries to get together and kind of work together on stuff.
Yeah. So what's the marketing plan for this year's Beer Week? Is there like a targeted-
Well, I feel like something we talk about within the Guild a lot is participation, right? And so I think a lot of people have been like, "Oh man, Beer Week sucks now. There's nothing happens. Nobody does anything." And I'm like, "Oh, all right. Where'd you go?" "Oh, I went to my bar." I went to the same places I always go to.
Yeah.
And I'm like that as well, right? And we talk about kids. I spend more time at this brewery than I spend an ounce in anybody else's. So the thought of for me with Beer Week is like paying attention to who's doing things and getting out there, knowing that like I got 12 big days coming up, and like obviously there's big days in the building here as a producer, as a maker, but as a fan, it's still important. We were just coming off the Craft Brewers Summit that CCBA holds, and then lucky for us, it happens right here in Sacramento. It happens at the convention center, and it's awesome. And so like what you're talking about with, it used to be all of these young, excited home brewers turned professional brewers, trying to find exciting ways to do things. Now we're 10 years in, we're refined. We know the industry. We know what we're doing. Maybe because of things like the CCBA and the Guild, of sharing this information, us brewers sharing tips, sharing techniques, sharing equipment. Some people brewing it for others and contract brew, so we can keep up with production and demand. But all of those things are that if it is what you make of it.
Yeah. People can't know if you don't talk about it.
Right.
So if you're participating but not really telling people what are you really participating.
We talk about that within the Rubicon. Like what happened to the Rubicon? One of the things I think about is we didn't tell the story right. We'd be at a brew fest and people would be like, "Oh, Monkey Knife Fight! I didn't know you guys made Monkey Knife Fight." Or who's the Rubicon? Where are you guys? And be like, "Oh, it's all right. We're 29 years old. We've been in Midtown, the same location the whole time, talking to like a 24-year-old." So that is something that we take into Alaro that we have, and Ray is instrumental on this. He handles all of our socials. but it's one of those. They're not. We have to tell the story.
Yeah.
If we don't tell the story, somebody else is either somebody else is going to tell the story and they're going to get it wrong, or somebody's going to hear the story and not know the details, or nobody's going to hear anything.
Yeah.
And then it's all for naught, kind of thing. So this is an opportunity for breweries to showcase what they're doing, and participate.
Yeah, and I think the nice part about Alaro is that the story is built into like the brands, right? With the naming conventions
Right.
and what kind of food is offered, it's all kind of tied together into
Right,
like one cohesive.
We got
story.
we got a lot going on. So if we don't find a way to tell that story, then it just
It's a much.
we've got a full cocktail program, a curated wine list, a brewery in house, full food, back patio, front patio.
Yeah.
It's like an SEO thing. We just looked for every word and built it. That being said, we're a crew full of. I was a chef before a brewer, so the thought of not having food, it's kind of a letdown in my world. Like I'm supposed to drink all this and not eat. Octopus? Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
What are we even doing?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
That kind of is one fun new thing going on in the beer scene, is a lot of breweries adding restaurant components.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that might kind of bring back some of those early day
Right.
vibes of we're
Yeah.
all trying something new again.
Bring back the beer pub.
The brew pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, and I mean, like, I love searching out some little hole in the wall manufacturer on a strip mall,
Yeah.
and going and like smelling it from a mile away, right? I mean, like, I don't need a map. I know where I'm at, Those are fine. Like, those are the places you can play cornhole. You let your kids run around, your dogs run around. Like, unfortunately, obviously, we're not that kind of place. We got a back patio. You can bring your dog and kids,
Thank you.
but let's pay attention. Thank you, Lana.
Oh, we got cheers to that?
Cheers, boyos. Yum.
What'd you get?
Oh, I got the Armada British Brown Ale. That's nice.
I always like that. Like, a Spanish restaurant. Like, what's Spanish beer? German beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we always say California craft ales, German style lagers and everything in between.
Yeah. All right.
So what's Spanish? The name.
Yeah.
Moving on.
A little bit of the food, spice profiles, things like that.
Yeah. Well, and then again, we used to have the joke: no seltzers, no sours, no hazies. Right. Now, obviously, I make hazies now,
Yeah.
but
you can't actually hold on.
yeah,
To that.
yeah. Weiss is mocking me. Blah blah blah.
Quote unquote.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have a hazy
Yeah.
called the Illusion of Haze
Hey,
on right
hey.
now.
Try by Esta before you leave.
Huh?
Try by Esta before you leave.
All right.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah. All right.
all right, we'll do
All
it.
right. But nevertheless, the reason why I've always said that, one, so we're we keep referencing Rubicon, but we Rubicon opened in '87,
Yeah.
right? Closed in '17. We opened in '18. So we're almost a 6-year-old brewery, but the brewery is 40 years old.
Right.
Almost 40, going on.
35.
37.
Yeah.
And so
It's basically 100 years old.
might as well.
Might
be.
as well be in
Well,
our
it was
current
built.
place.
The brew house and four
remembers
10-barrel
the 80s?
fermenters were built in Tijuana, Mexico, in '85. The welding techniques of stainless got a lot better since those days. That being said, man, they still pump. So our joke we use is we're a renovated roadster.
Nice.
You don't drift race a renovated roadster.
Yeah.
You take the top down. You drive on Sunday afternoons. You enjoy where you're going. You enjoy your evening, and then you drive home, right? And so, because we have the cocktail program, the wine list, the food program, I don't really have to chase those flavors. And then I'm not fighting for grocery shelf space either.
Right.
So there's I don't have to chase gimmicks. We're a small brewery, right? If I want to do triple production, then obviously then now I'm making beer for the masses. So there's kind of a Scott Cramlet. We call it a Scottism. But I make beer I want to drink, and I hope you like it too. And so that's kind of comes from the chef mentality that, we can only cook to our palates.
Yeah.
Now we can educate ourselves and expand our palates, but I don't drink a lot of seltzers, so I'm not going to not make Castillo so I can make a seltzer.
Yeah.
If I was fighting for shelf space and I had a cold box and I could make and I could get caught up on
And
Castillo.
if I didn't have a full bar here, you could get whatever flavors you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you were just a brewery only, maybe you would do
exactly
it
that.
because you cater to another flavor profile. They brought their friend who doesn't really drink beer.
Right.
Then
exactly
that makes sense.
that.
But here you're like, well, we have wine, we have tequila, we have all this stuff.
Let's get you a curated cocktail instead.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Again, I get to hide behind that, right? I'm not saying the rest of the industry shouldn't do that. I don't have to. Which then also means I get to make beers like that, like a British brown ale. You know, like nobody makes brown ales anymore.
That?
Yeah. So,
I was at Fort Rock last week, and they had a red, a brown, pilsner, and a black lager out at the same time. Like, is that illegal? I think that might be illegal.
I think it's happening more and more.
And a regular stout, just a regular no gimmicks stout.
I've got 4 lagers and a stout on right now. I think the days of breweries having 12 IPAs and 1 stout are kind of starting to fade. I'm seeing a lot more balance when you go around the places in general.
I do see when I've got like 4 or 5 darker beers, they just sit. So I mean those demographics are definitely still there. The IPAs go the fastest, lagers go but man, there's that 25% of 25 out of 100. Man, they love that malty stuff.
One of the places I worked had a permanent brown, a permanent red, and a permanent stout, and we would still get customers coming in asking, "Why don't we ever make an amber?"
Yeah.
It was like, come on, you can't find something you like here of all places.
That goes back to kind of the beginning where we were talking about that 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, like for me, I didn't grow up out here, so for me, Fat Tire was my Sierra Nevada, right?
Yeah.
Or New Belgium, but Fat Tire Amber Ale, that was my Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. That was my intro to that and Shinerbach, right? My intro into
craft
beer flavored beer, malt forward, balanced, and so. But it comes with education, and so then people being like, oh, I want an amber ale. And like, try this brown ale, try this red ale. What do you like? What do you not like? Oh, the red ale's too hoppy or too alcoholic. Like, oh, all right, well, let's move to the brown. Like, what do you like? Oh, it's too chocolatey. Well, let's try this over here, And I think that's something that, I don't want to say we lost in the industry, but it just got so fast-paced. But then everybody is so educated that we assume that everybody is.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of why we see the younger demographic, younger generations aren't really taking it up, And is it because homebrewing's not as prevalent anymore? Homebrewing's pretty easy today. It was easy when we were homebrewing, but it's just, but like, we used to go to a homebrew shop, right? And like in the BFD days, and be able to talk to Tim and Raj and all these guys that were working there, and just kind of like spitball ideas, get our hands on ingredients. Now we do research. We go to Midwest Supplies. We buy what we need. It shows up on our doorstep, and it's easy, Because it's easy, does that mean less people do it? Maybe,
Or there's just the passion kind of goes down,
exactly.
Right?
But that's
my
point.
You're not doing all those steps.
The people, To be a brewer means you need to learn how to be an electrician, a plumber. You need to figure it out. In the old days of home brewing, we had to figure it out. We had to work through things. We had to drink shitty beer and learn from it and move on. Now our friends always told us it was great, but But now like you're making great beer right out the gate.
Yeah, you think you're
gonna be So then you look at becoming a professional, and it's going to cost you $2 million just to get going. You're gonna be like, I'm going to try this instead.
And I think
not true for everybody, but
it's also
obviously,
when you've spent. I think this is the thing that I'm worried about as a parent is just like all these younger kids have seen their parents like bring them to breweries on the weekends. They're like, I don't want to be a part of this. Is like tied to like some memories I'm not really that fond of.
Right.
Like they could have been doing things that I want to do, but we're just hanging. So I think there's like that part as well. Like 2 weeks ago, I was like leaving a bar, and one of my friends came in. He's like, "Oh, it's my daughter's boyfriend's 21st birthday." I'm like, "Cool," and so I'm like, "I'll hang out." And they literally drank one drink, and I'm like, "Okay," and now water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
they're like
these
afraid
kids
of
don't drink anymore.
Afraid of getting inebriated.
Yeah, like I've seen what happens. Like this is how we drink now. It's like just one drink. Thank you, that was fun. conversation. That's
Yeah.
Which
I mean, we talked for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
It was a
I
great
feel like
time.
I've got a pretty good handle on my consumption rate. But same thing when I was in high school, man. We used to steal pitchers from the local pizza place and go out to the mesa and have mesa parties and like bedazzle our pitchers because it was but.
So I think it's at this point, the search is, I guess, how do you bring them in, right?
Yeah,
I think it is flavor, and I think it's low alcohol.
What you just mentioned, the craft beer consumer, alcohol consumer is kind of a changing demographic, and if we want Sacramento craft beer to be more than just a trend, we have to be able to tell a story about what makes, a local brewery a special business that deserves your support. Why are you paying more to get a lager from a local brewery than getting a lager from, Budweiser or whatever? And I think that all this stuff, it just presents a new challenge and a need for us to keep kind of working together and making sure people understand that, breweries are not just necessarily a place to go get drunk and party. And in fact, it really shouldn't be at all. Like, it's a place to appreciate something kind of like artisanal happening. And I'm not usually that guy that wants to wax poetic about the art form that is craft brewing.
That's true.
It's really a lot uglier in real life.
It's a very wax poetic way to say that, though.
Yeah.
But I am a little sentimental about the idea of it's a bunch of local people that figured out something they like doing. Most of us kind of came to this from other jobs that a lot of us hated probably.
Yeah.
And I think that it's pretty special to be able to make a product from scratch with your hands, and the feeling of watching, your neighbors, other people just from your community coming in and enjoying that.
Strangers coming in,
bringing them
out of
some
town.
happiness and sense of community. I think that's kind of what it's all about, and that's why, if we can tell that story to a new generation that isn't totally sold on beer as their drink of choice, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But the brewery and the pub still being kind of an essential gathering place in a community, I think is something that we'd all regret it if we lost that in our community, which it's happened before. Like, this isn't the first time that craft beer has experienced a bubble.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying this is a bubble, but in the past there's been times where it rose in popularity and fell in popularity. And I think that, we'd like to be so much a part of Sacramento's identity that we're going to be here to stay.
Yeah.
Just like you see in some other famously beer-centered towns.
Yeah, and I do think that
Very well said.
a lot, like we were saying earlier, brewers are starting to make these classic styles more that have more of a flavor profile, lower ABV oftentimes. I think that's also going to help because it's a different thing than what they were seeing at home when they were growing up.
Yeah.
And they are focused more on flavor as opposed to the same thing kind of over and over again. IPAs can get a lot of different flavors in them, but the other beers offer a lot more of a profile.
I think there's more kind of health consciousness that drives people towards lighter beers.
Yep.
There's, craft beer has always been kind of closely tied with outdoorsy activities, riding bikes, mountain climbing, hiking, whatever. Those people that are into that kind of lifestyle tend to want more of a lighter, sessionable beer.
It gets the carbs back in their bodies after a good workout.
It's the ultimate post-workout
that's what I've
beverage.
heard.
I always have a beer after
Packed with
skiing
amino
or
acids
something.
and simple carbohydrates and proteins.
Yeah.
Natural sugars. Yeah, beer is obviously why it's the second oldest profession, right?
Yeah.
But but to grasp on what you're talking about, that public house, right? There's nothing more important than the concept of a public house, and to think of in Nomad era, I could walk this way or I could walk that way. Which way do I choose? And I know there's an inn with ale and porridge that way, or that way is the faster route. I bet you chose the safe place to sleep with a pint of ale, woke up in the morning and finished your journey, right? And so that decision, things that we see, we don't need to blame COVID for all these things, but the work from home mentality, and so we're in Midtown here. There are 20 to 50,000 people that used to come into Midtown downtown every day that don't show up anymore. Well, not to say they don't show up; they are not driving down.
Yeah.
Which from
they're
the
not physically showing up
right
to their workspace.
from the environmental world concept, that's great. From the economic concept, like we designed the city for you guys to come down here and spend money. That being said, we're surrounded by people right now. There's a market going on. We get crushed on the weekends.
When we started, there was one table.
Right. Yeah.
And right now there's one empty table, and it's a two-top.
Yeah. And Annette's eyeing us for ours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beer week. We did it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're definitely looking forward to it. I mean, like everything we're talking about today, like this is what we hope people are going out to talk about. So the younger generation, with Beer Week, like. Go out and see what it's all about. See why your moms and dads got into this world as well.
And if you're in it, remember why you loved it in the beginning.
Exactly.
I think that's also another part about the older styles coming back. Is now we're all old, hardened brewers. Like I kind of miss that stuff. Let's bring it back. Even though the public may not be ready for it, they will be. Yeah, but they'll appreciate it. I
think that's so fun. We're talking about the flavored beer thing. Like things move so fast, things grow so much. There's so many different styles of things. It's nice to do the refined stuff to like give people the concept or the constant reminder of where we were. Knowing that then you can go down to Urban Roots and try one of their collaborations and see where we're going. But then those guys also have beautiful. They got an ESB on that's right now that's just perfect. I tasted that and called him right away. You got any of that yeast left? I'd really like to make a Scottish ale off of that, but So that's the point, right?
Yep, absolutely. So Sacramento Beer Week. That's April 26th through May 5th. Don't forget about the Sacramento Brewers Showcase at Heart Health Park on May the 4th. Be with you.
Be with us.
Be with us.
Yes.
Rising together.
Yep.
Sacramento Brewers Guild. Oh my God, I know how to talk. Sacramento Area Brewers Guild.
Sacramento Area Brewers Guild.
All right, that's I think the episode, right?
That's it?
I think that's it, right?
All right, well, I'm just now realizing you gave us permission to cuss, and I don't think anyone did.
No.
So I just want to add shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits.
Okay. Great.
Bitchin'.
And before we go, we have to do the where can people find you and all that, what you guys are up to specifically, and I do my thing where I stumble through it. So where can people find out more about what's going on at Alaro and Blue Note and fight for the
same thing. Check out our website, alarobrewing.com. Social media, we're pretty avid on that. We're always posting daily specials and lunch and food and beer releases. Yeah.
Yep. Same for us at Blue Note Brewing on Instagram, BlueNoteBrewingCompany.com. If you're ever in Woodland and you want
to go to
a locally brewed craft beer, then you have no choice but to come to us.
You guys have a really cool market out there as well.
The city does lots of events on Main Street and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great little spot.
I know that there's a green chili roaster guy out there. I think it's El Rey, I think is the name of it. But that dude, he has family in Albuquerque. This is why I know about this. He has family in Albuquerque. They drive down to Hatch, get cases of chili, drive them up to Albuquerque, drop them off at the airport. And then we're talking like 4 a.m, do this. And then he drives to the Sacramento airport, picks them up, drives out to Woodland. And so he does this like every Saturday or Sunday.
That's awesome.
And fresh roast green chili.
I'll have to check that out.
So nice little plug for Woodland and El Rey.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then for Barley and Me, I've been your host, Ben Rice. You can find Barley and Me across social media at Barley and Me Pod. Don't check X. I didn't deleted it, but I haven't added anything since that sale went through. So
it's called Twitter, I thought.
Yeah, I don't even know my password. It logged me out. I'm like, I'm good, thank you. But anyway, Instagram, Facebook, Barley and Me Pod. You can also check out barleyandmepod.com for all of the podcast stuff, including Please Drink Responsibly and It's Crazier in My Business, as well as all my comedy shows that I run and comedy shows that I do. It's whatever.
It's pretty good.
One spot catches it all. Barley and Me Pod.
Love it.
I think that's it. This is episode 181 of Barley, and me with David Weiss from Blue Note Brewing and Chris Keeton from Alaro Brewing, talking about Sacramento Beer Week 2024. Thanks so much for listening. Get home safe.
Cheers.